optional. If you want to, you can. I don't care.
Has anyone dipped on your show before?
Yeah, fucking Formal did last time. That's why I think it's like hysterical. They're like, oh man, can I throw in a dip? I'm like, fucking Formal literally has changed everything now. So I'm just like fucked.
What do you mean?
Because now you guys think you can just run away with everything. I don't care. Look, if you need to put one in, you put one in. All right?
Oh, dude, I've been dipping since. Come on.
I know. I'm saying if you need to put one in, you can put in the dip. I don't care.
All right, cool.
All right, just toss it in there and have a good time.
I'm gonna throw one in right now.
God damn it. All right, I'm waiting. I mean, we've been live for like 15 seconds, but I'll wait for you.
Are we live right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, hello, guys.
This is my way of seeing like if anything's screwed up. So I'm like, okay, my sound's up. I'm on the right channel. I got like all this like security now.
Okay.
I don't suck.
That's awesome.
So tweet the fucking stream, people. Let me know when you're ready, princess.
I'm ready.
All right. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts number 71, brought to you by My Nutrition. This is the new format, once again, and I'm joined by a very, very special guest in Neighbor, a.k.a. Mason Cobb, a.k.a. Seabiscuit, peasant of Rivendell. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. I've been just relaxing after the globals, gaming a little bit, but doing well. I watched the Breaking Bad last night. That shit was crazy.
God.
I won't say any spoilers for the people in the chat that haven't watched, but yeah, just enjoying life right now.
Dude, it was nuts. Literally,
it was nuts.
Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it was nuts. I got sad. Not gonna lie. That's the first time I've really been sad from a TV show. Next to it, like the finale of one of the American Idols, like way back then. But yeah, it was.
That. I know you were raised by sister, so you're screwed. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a good episode. If you guys don't watch Breaking Bad, just go ahead and leave the channel now. Moving forward. All right, so basically how this is gonna work, Mason. I gave you a little rundown, but for everyone here, we're gonna kind of go through memory lane here. You're an old face, you got a long story, and quite frankly, I like for it to be told. So I think it starts all off with the creation of your gamer tag, right? That's where it all started for me, was Toxin's neighbor. So for those of you who have no idea who Toxin was, Toxin used to be an H1 pro, and then he kind of was like, I guess he was a Halo 2 pro for a bit. But you were his neighbor.
Yeah, Alex was definitely a Halo 2 pro.
Yeah, so just go ahead and take it from there.
Well, if you want, I mean, it kind of started actually before that, and I have a good story because this actually does involve you. My first tournament ever was Seattle 2005, and obviously
that was a good one.
That was a tournament you guys won. Unfortunately, at the time, I was actually really looking forward to that tournament because my favorite players at the time were the Ogres, because they were the players that had the most videos up on Halo-Pro, and that was the site I went to religiously every day to see what new video was out. But so Seattle 05 was my first tournament, and I actually went with a team the day before. I was going to go with my buddies from school, but this team called the Teabagging Crew, TBC, 3 Canadians from BC, which is about 3 hours away from where I live. They said they needed a 4th, so we played one night of practice. We had like maybe 10 games. We lost all 10 of them. We were terrible.
That's good.
But anyways,
that's a hell of a start.
So they're like, okay, well, we still need this guy on our team because we need a 4th, obviously. So when we get there, I'm this little kid, and obviously I knew about.
Wait, are you the same age as me, or am I a year older than you? Are you turning 24 this year?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're the same age. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, so I get to Seattle, and obviously, I knew who T Squared was. I knew who IGS was. I knew Karma from the Bungie, because Bungie, the leaderboards on Bungie were huge back in the day.
Right.
And you always, and I didn't even know Karma was black, to be honest. When I first saw him, I was like, wow, that's legit. That's respect. Not saying it's like bad, but anyway, so I was watching.
It's so funny you said that though. Just to cut you off.
He is like the only top whatever.
Well, at the time it was just Karma, but it's so funny you said that though, because I remember I looked at the head-to-head boards and I was like, K to the Arma, like what kind of how'd you put me on hold?
Sorry.
What is this?
Sorry,
you just put me on hold on your phone?
I'm sorry.
What the fuck? Who do you think you are? This is my show.
This might happen a couple times.
All right, that's fine. It's all right. I'm with it.
Due to my ghetto ass setup, which is
Nice.
even more ghetto than my streaming setup.
Nah, it's cool. I'm with it. All right, so anyway, long story short.
I see your team. You guys are your team's scrimming. You guys are warming up, and you guys are you guys are winning every game. So you're staying on your the station, and so you just beat a team, and we're like, okay, let's scrim these guys. We beat you guys. We played you guys, our team, and we played you guys in Ivory TS. And obviously, it's warming up. It's not tournament play, so you guys probably like, who the fuck are these kids? Because my gamer tag at the time was I'll be Thug, and I'm this little 15-year-old kid wearing an Abercrombie sweatshirt with poofy like Dragon Ball Z hair.
It's all right. I had the same shit rocking.
Yeah, but we ended up beating you guys, and I didn't really know the magnitude of what that meant, because to me it was just like, oh shit, these guys are pretty good, but man, we might have a chance to win this tournament. Not a chance at all. I don't remember who. Oh, we got knocked out by Triggers Down. We played SK's team, Forsetti's, Andros, those guys. But anyways, my first MLG event. Well, and then actually, let me be fair, because after we played you guys in Ivory Tower, we played you guys in some objective game. I think it was lockout ball, and you guys beat us like 5 minutes to like 2 seconds or something. It was bad.
Well, I know Defy's in the chat, and he was a part of IGS obviously for that event, and I have no idea how he remembers this, but yeah, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun moment, and so that tournament was really kind of the kickstart to my career, because we ended up placing top 8, and top 8 at Seattle. It was like an AGL. There's like 40 teams or something like that. Not many many top teams were there, because I think there was another tournament going on. I don't recall, but I know there were a bunch of like detachers on straight.
It was
that's how weird.
WCG.
Yeah, that wasn't the 2v2s.
It was the 2v2s.
Yeah. But anyway, so after that, since we placed in the top 8, I got a letter in the mail from MLG saying you are invited to Anaheim, and I like freaked out. I was like, no fucking way, because at this time Halo 2 was the big game, and everyone in my school played it, and all my friends played it with me. So I was like, so that was the first article document I brought to school of my game career. And I remember walking through the halls like, dude, look, guys, I got invited. So then I ended up flying to Anaheim with my dad and one of my best friends. And yeah, it kind of just unraveled from there. And that's how well, let me explain how the name Toxin's Neighborhood came to. So Toxin was 2 years older than me, and he also went to my high school. My high school probably had, we had like 5 Halo pros coming out of my high school.
Did you, real quick, did you print out articles of Bungie.net?
Yeah, and I lied, because that was actually before Seattle. I got matched up with Check 6 in a clan match, minor clan match. And my clan, we were ranked 17. We're 17.
Okay, that's good. That was good.
It was good back then.
Real good.
Because I mean, the top clans, they're high 20s, low 30s, and so we got Texas. And I remember this so well. It was Ivory Tower 1 flag, and we were on offense first. So we spawned on the bottom elevator, and I remember all 4 of us wanted to get the sniper. And someone, I think it was Zios, he threw like nades off the top, and we all just 4 die. And I think I got like 1 kill. 2 of my friends got goosed. We got absolutely wrecked. But I did bring that to school, because Toxin, who went to my school, who was 2 years older than me, and by the way, so Toxin, he thought he kept his Halo career very low key, because he was, I wouldn't say obviously in high school there's like the jocks and all that stuff, and I don't and he was friends with the jocks. Like I remember he had this big fucking 6'5" guy, 300 pounds, that would always like tackle me and wedgie me. But Alex, I came up to him at school. I was like, "Are you STK Brujas?" And then he looked around nervous, like seeing if anyone else was listening. And I was like, "Dude, check this out." I busted out the stats, and from there, what makes it even more wild is when I was in like 5th grade, I was like this 13-year-old chubby little kid. I was on his baseball team, and at the time I shouldn't have been on his team. Like I played a league up, and I remember me and him would always sit on the bench together, like chewing sunflower seeds, because we both sucked at the time when we were like 12.
Yeah, everyone sucks.
so we had past history. So it's weird how Halo kind of brought us together again. But basically after that, I'm sure Scott, you remember Miss Hachi, who
Of
also went to
course.
my school. Bryce. So Bryce was another Halo pro, and then his sister was dating Dave at one point. Her name was Fox.
I remember.
So it got to the point to where I would bug him so much at school. Like I would walk around with my, I don't know if you remember those JanSports with those little like headphone pockets that like you could put your earbuds through. So it looked like.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. You know,
Yes,
they actually have, they make hoodies now with the same thing.
Yeah, so I would put my controller through it, and I'd walk around the school pretending like I'm like on a map, like I'm on lockout and stuff. And it was funny because I was fortunately in with the cool crowd of my class. I mean, obviously I did get picked on a lot by the older class.
It's
Like I got
natural.
wedgied every day. But I thought it was funny, and I wasn't embarrassed about Halo because I was more so into the top players with these huge contracts and all the possibilities from MLG because there's the TV show and all that stuff. So I was like, I was pretty into it. But anyways, after 05, I played with SK. SK probably, me and him were like the duo, the Washington duo. I remember we used to play 2v2 lockouts literally all the time. We actually got banned
just
from.
real quick, man. Like how fucking like I don't care about the story right now just because no offense, but just like how many stories you're bringing up. How good was that fucking game, dude?
It was the best.
Like,
mean,
God,
literally,
like I'm literally hearing you like say all this stuff, and it's like it's hitting me. Where like
Oh.
I didn't like I forget, you know what I mean? Like there's times where you forget that shit.
And you know
literally
what?
just brought it all back.
I'll tell you what was awesome. 2 weeks ago, I had a bunch of the Halo pros at my house for the global. We land before the globals, and we were playing 2v2 lockouts, and it was just the most frustrating thing because literally Illuminite Warrior, Marcus, he BXRs like it was like he's in his prime in Halo 2, and it was so.
Oh, I can
flippin'
imagine.
But no, I mean, yeah, the matches that we used to have and just playing that game, it definitely. It was a blast for sure. Could play it all day.
What year 2007 was, man? Like 2007 was such a wild year. You basically for you it was like we came out, we went 2-2-1. You came out with Make It Rain of a washed up Saiyan and a has been of Detach.
Yeah.
And got like top 24. Then you got straight, and then it was
and
what?
To be honest, I could have been on probably a better team, but I wanted a team with Saiyan so bad. I didn't care if he was like that. That was kind of like my marketing tool to my parents to let me go to that tournament. I was like, Dad, I'm teaming with a STK guy. Like he's won so many tournaments, and obviously I knew he wasn't. He wasn't at his prime, and nor did he really care anymore. But that was really my sales pitch to my dad. So he let me go to the tournament. But yeah, it was a crazy year because literally that year. I mean, if things didn't unfold the way they did, I definitely would not have had the career at all.
You were fucked.
Yeah, I got
not fucked, but I mean, like you weren't sitting pretty. Like I mean, you basically went from a complete noob.
Yeah.
Essentially, like literally, you went from a complete noob to someone who was fucking shredding my face at Chicago 07.
I know, it was the most random thing because the two tournaments before that, the Chicago 7, I was on straight ripping because I got extremely lucky. Tom decided to give me a chance, and I remember the first tournament. It was me, Tom, Fallacy, and which is so weird to think that I teamed with Pete. I totally I forgot about that.
What the fuck?
So weird, but yeah, but basically what ended up happening with that team, it was me, Havoc, Mimic, and Tom, and we ended up placing 7th, and I placed, what was it, first? I tied for first in the free-for-all. So I was showing that I had individual skill, I think, with that performance. So I think that's one reason why Tom decided to stick with me. I mean, I know for sure he tried to get on the agency, which thank God it didn't happen. I mean, for me. Yeah, because I would have literally, I don't know what I would have done. Because, I mean, there were so many drama team changes. It was like the COD.
Especially involving you. And that's literally going to be my next thing. So, basically, we can sum up the 2007 season of straight ripping does good, during the regular season, and then they lose to us in the finals.
Yeah. And well, see, I'll tell you why I think we had a rough time with you guys in the finals. And
I had the best event of my life.
your X Factor, well, yeah, you were playing insane, but Beretta, I swear to God,
she was good.
And it was the most frustrating thing playing you guys because I remember your strategy, which was just to call me out like as loud as possible. So you guys would just yell neighbor, and whenever I'd die by like let's just say a random nade killed me, your whole team would go nuts, and I would just be sitting there. And the thing is I wasn't really getting pissed. It was more legit. Legit was like these motherfuckers. Like he was getting so mad. I remember that. I guess yesterday.
God.
But yeah,
I'll actually tell that story real quick. So see, this is why I wanted you on here. I'm so glad. I like threw it up to the fans. I was like, hey, who do you guys want on here? And I got like. It was all kind of sporadic. I didn't feel like counting. I was just like, I saw Mason Cow. I'm getting fucking neighbor on here, so we can check the shit. Well, so what happened was, so we go into 07 finals, right? And when we go in there, we don't have a LAN or anything like that because that's when LAN started. LANs were huge in 07. I don't know if you guys LAN or whatever. I didn't really.
Exit wins. We used to LAN exit wins before every tournament.
Clowns.
Yeah.
Bonfire and hissing mule and get out of here. Just like
I love that family. That family is the best. That family is the best. They're so hilarious.
Hissing mule's like a nightmare. I still picture him now, like fluorescent skin glowing at me. Anyway, so we show up and we've only practiced really online a couple times, and so we sit down and we're playing the agency and we're playing against Nated, and I'm like. There's like 3 players. Well, there's like not including myself. There's like 3 other players outside of me who can take a game over, and it's neighbor, Nated, and then it was, well, I guess it was side, but you can argue that it was Ogre 2 as well. So we're playing against Nated, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how the fuck are we supposed to beat him if he goes off? And Triple X just goes, let's just call him out every single time and see how it happens. And so we start only calling out like one person. So when we were playing fucking straight ripping, it was neighbor. We were just like, oh, neighbor's dead, man. We can get a flagpole. It was literally that for 10 games. And
the funniest thing about that too is I honestly, I feel like at a point I was really good at Halo 2. I would consider myself at the top, but legit was the low key, monster of that team.
He was a shredder.
I mean, without him, it wouldn't. I mean, I guess without any of those guys, it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, no, he was a shredder for sure.
He was an X Factor, yeah.
He wasn't like, I didn't have to worry, like playing against you, right? Like I didn't have to worry about you, or I didn't have to worry about like legit grabbing a sniper on Beaver Creek and just fucking shredding me. Like I never had to worry about that. With you, I had to worry about that because after Chicago, when you fucking lit our asshole on fire, I was like, what the hell do you want me to do now? Right? So that's really what happened there. So I'm so glad that you had a miserable time with that.
Oh, it was the worst. It definitely was the worst. And that made me kind of rethink the whole like how important the mental game is in Halo because that definitely put me in my place. I did not know how to react to that for sure.
Oh yeah, it was super super tough. All right, so now 2008, you go from a top 8 player to basically the number 1 player, and you have arguably the most controversial team change in the history of Major League Gaming. When you decided to leave Straight Rippin' and join Final Boss. Yeah. I personally remember why, but what made you, just for everyone here, so from everyone, he was playing on Straight Rippin', the same Straight Rippin' from the 2007 season. It was T-Squared, Neighbor, Legit, and Elamite. Okay? Mm-hmm. They win an event pretty handily. I think it was like 6-4 or 6-3. And then you decide to leave to join Final Boss. Yeah. Walk me through it.
Well, actually, so that event before San Diego, we only lost 1 game that whole tournament.
Oh, so that's right.
We were, and it was a dumb game too. We should have won it. It was Guardian Ball against the agency. It was stupid. We should have beat them. But, anyways, yeah. So what happened? I mean, I'm not gonna go into like personal because
no. I don't need any of that bullshit. Yeah, that's gay.
Yeah, there's a whole another story to that story. But yeah, I kind of the main selling point for me to make the switch was, one, I had it engraved in my brain that I was the best Halo 3 player.
Well, you were.
And so, and when you think like that, that's how you become that. Like if you look at Formal, if you look at Pistola, when they talk about Halo, they believe that they're the best, and that's what you have to think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to compete at a level like they compete, you have to think like that. So at the time, so I thought to myself, okay, I'm the best. I can, you know, I felt like to be honest, I was very, I would say, jealous of Tom Taylor, because Tom, when we won as a team, what they would say in articles is T squared in crew, or they say just little things like that. And there were times where we thought about making a team change, and it's not just because. Okay, that's totally a different subject, but regardless, I wanted to leave because the final boss dropped Walshy. And since, Halo 2, since 05, I really, really wanted to team with the Ogres. I mean, it was kind of like my dream.
Yeah, I had the same dream.
And because I mean they're they're
the best.
Yeah, they're the best, and I kind of mimicked. I would say I mimicked my gameplay really off them.
I did the exact same.
Yeah, and so when that opportunity presented itself, when they dropped Walshy, they asked Kyle, because Strongside is, Strongside and Kyle, they were, best friends. They're locals, and this was, probably the best chance for Kyle inside the team, because they've always wanted to team together. Kyle turned them down. What ended up with me, what happened with me is I turned them down a few times, and I mean I had everyone texting me from that team. I had Tom, I had Amy, Sai, Mantrain. And I remember what happened. It was that I was at a movie with my buddies, and I got a text from Tom from Ogre 2 saying, if you join this team, I mean, they had the Gilbert Arenas sponsor. Yeah. And to give you guys an example of what the Gilbert Arenas sponsor entailed, I mean, they were like balling. They went to his birthday where T.I. was there, Lil Wayne, exclusive stuff.
They not only exclusive stuff, but they also got the most badass shit out there. Like, they had, jumpsuits.
Yeah,
we never had jumpsuits. We barely got fucking jerseys. So these guys come out, and they have, Ogre 2 on the shoes, right? And I'm like, this fucking guy, right? And then they have multiple color jumpsuits.
It was a badass sponsor. And at the time, Straight Rippin' was sponsored by Dr. Pepper, and those guys were great. Those guys were a blast to hang out with. Yeah, definitely a fun crew. But I thought to myself, okay, Halo right now for me, I'm trying to better myself as much as possible. And I thought that if I left Straight Rippin', they could easily get a fourth, which, they did. And they did extremely well without me. So that just showed how good of a team those three guys were without. Because you really could have put, not anybody, but you could have put an individually skilled player. Just think if they got Pistola. I mean, that team could have probably been. Yeah, I mean, it could have been absolutely insane. I mean, regardless, they still destroyed with Snipe Down. They won the national championships. He did it extremely well, but anyone could have filled my role. And so I thought to myself, okay, if these guys really want me that bad, where Ogre 2 was saying I'd get a $10,000 bonus from Gilbert Arenas for just joining, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, I'm the best. I want to, kind of make a name for myself, start something that would, get people talking. Then why not make the move?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it was a really risky play, because the first tournament that we teamed was Toronto 08, and we played straight up in that event in the winners finals, and we were up 2-0, and we were up. Game 3 is Pit Hill. We're up going into the very last hill, and we made one little mistake, and they ended up coming back and 3-2ing us. But I was actually thinking to myself a few days ago, just kind of thinking what would have happened if we would have won. Because the thing is back then, for the people that are in this chat that kind of just started watching competitive Halo or just started in 2010, 11, Halo back then, there were die-hard fan bases.
Yeah,
you had let's say Final Boss fans hated me. If I went to Final Boss, I was golden. and that whole experience just is a failure, to be honest. I mean, it didn't work out like I hoped, and it was tough. I mean, I instantly regretted doing, not just because of the placing, but more so I really realized how close I was with Brian and Kyle and Tom, and it just really sucked, actually.
Aw, babes.
So it was tough, but it was a learning experience.
Dude, I would have, thinking about it right now, your decision, right? Like, you follow Call of Duty. Your decision to join a team with the 10K signing bonus, is that not like the most, like, that's like a fucking foreshadowing of what it is now?
Yeah.
You like, join this team, you're gonna get this, and it's like, why the fuck would I not do that?
Well,
right?
It is big money too, because the Gilbert contract was more than what I was getting paid from Dr. Pepper, so it was a lot.
Yeah, dude, it was a lot of money.
But what sucked is I didn't get that bonus, like I was told, and so everything just kind of unraveled from there. And
that sucks.
Yeah, it was.
That fucking sucks.
But
hey,
then
were
again,
you a part of the 250K contract?
No, I was not. That was before my time.
Okay, I didn't know if they extended it out, because I know Side was one, and then I didn't know if anything else happened like that. But did you get, like, I'll dive in here. I don't want figures, obviously. And by the way, you're lucky, because I could have dug at some of those questions and really pried it out there, but I like you like a person, so I'm not gonna I'll let it slide. Were you getting monthly payments when you were with Dr. Pepper? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I always wanted to know, because I hated everything about Straight Rippin'. I had respect for you and Legit and Kyle, but
I'll tell you this: I took a $25,000 loss by joining Final Boss.
Because of the 10K.
Because of that and another thing, but yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet. Oh, that sucks. Way to fucking go.
it was a big risk, and it was funny too, because at the time MLG. I mean, remember Ray Lau?
Oh, dude, he's the worst. He's a nightmare.
Well, I mean, the thing is he's actually a great guy. You had
T-Squared on your team. If you have T-Squared and Walshy on your team, you're fine. If you didn't, you were fucked.
Yeah, I mean, he was, and the thing was, he was a great guy, and I look back at it, it must have been just a living hell dealing with a lot of us pros, because we were not the most
we were
professional kids back in the day.
Yeah, you remember, I don't know when it changed, but all the way up through 2000, I think it was 2008, right? Who won opener of 2008? Was it Triggers Down with Hysteria and SK? Who won that? No. FB won the first event. FB won the first event.
So, it was Final Boss.
Yeah, Final Boss won the first event. Yeah. I don't know when it changed. But you remember, like, 07 and 06, you went to Anaheim. Whoever, like, won the event threw a party Sunday night. Remember that? Like, the hotel party? When we all used to just get drunk underage? You gotta remember this, bro.
They're literally all so mixed in together. I mean, it
was every Sunday.
Which tournament are you talking about? Are you talking about Meadowlands?
Everyone up until like a certain point. The winning team used to always throw something, and and then it just fucking disappeared. What the hell happened to tradition?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good question. I think I don't know. When we won San Diego, we had a pretty big party.
I know, I was there.
But I mean. But then after that, it was like Straight was winning every event, so I wasn't invited to the party. So I was just like that one kid, just like.
Yeah, you're a loser.
Yeah, basically that's what happened.
You got segged out of there, but yeah, dude, like there was a point where it just stopped. I think it's when Triggers Down formed in 09, and they just started winning events because they were all so young.
Yeah, no one really wanted to party with Mazik back in the day. I think that was the
Oh my god. Well, as you put your phone on hold, hysterical.
Sorry.
Oh, no, dude, don't fucking apologize. We already got that shit out of the way earlier. I fucking remember how bad of a train wreck Mazik used to be. That was so funny. You know he's like the most winningest coach, though. You know that, right?
Wait, I can't hear you.
This guy.
Who?
The phone. Mazik.
Mazik?
Yeah. He's got like 2 or 3 national championships.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's got 09. He's got 09 BTH. He's got 2010 FB. I think he's got 2 national championships.
Wow.
He was he coached Ogre 2. Like,
Uh,
that's where, like,
Wait, he coached Ogre 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My God, I forgot.
2010.
2010.
Yo,
Yeah,
2010.
2010.
How? Okay.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So, I do you a disservice, too, because when I talk about Halo 3, right, it's like the emergence for me of, like, I always say, like, from 2009 on, you can say that, like, Pistola and Roy are, like, the two best players since that point, right? But 2010, like, it was kind of like Ola, Fear Itself, Roy, and it was you. Like, your 2010 season was fucking insane. And I don't even think people realize that. Like, I forget what tournament it was. But you had most objective, and you had the best plus-minus with, like, the most kills. You know what I'm talking about? What event was that?
Yeah,
I see the smirk on your face. You know what I'm talking about.
I think it was either DC or Raleigh. I can't remember. I think we took second that event.
Yeah, well, you were. Yeah, you have best man, so you were cursed.
Yeah, and I don't remember how that was even possible. I think they messed up on the stats because I remember me and Nick would look at them and we were like just like, what the hell? I mean, I felt like I played really well in 2010, but just like looking at the stat page, it was ridiculous. Like I had most assists, most kills, like everything. It was insane.
Like, you were amazing. Does it piss you off to not get the recognition you deserve from that era?
No, not at all.
Really?
Not at all. Not at all.
Wow.
Because Halo's all about the now. It's not about...
But even still, like, I mean, when people bring up Halo 3, like, your name should obviously be in the mix. And you didn't hear that question, so I'm going to pretend that didn't happen moving forward.
That was Mom again.
But, like, you know, when people talk about, like, Halo 3, your name, like, the greats, like, the final year for me, and I don't know how you view it, but, like, national championships and the final year for me of the game is, like, what matters to me.
Yeah.
And so your name should be technically in the talks.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, people, I mean, I guess it's my chat when I stream, but when I do stream Halo 3, and they do bring up, the past, like, but I mean, if you're talking about the Halo fan base now, I mean, you do have to kind of dig back a little bit to see. And the problem, another thing is you can't really go to MLG and easily look up past events. No, you have to really look for, you have to dig deep into YouTube to find, those old tournaments. No. So, I mean, it definitely doesn't make me mad at all because I mean,
I'd be fucking livid.
I gotta enjoy it when it was happening. That's true.
So, fast forwarding, Reach, you come out, you get second, you make another team change back to straight ripping this time, from second to 13th.
Well, actually, I went to BTH right after Impact.
Whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the whole straight ripping thing did happen again. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Moving forward. Well, I'm not even touching on Reach. Okay.
Yeah.
From Halo 4. Yeah, we're not talking on Reach. So, Halo 4. Okay, the game comes out. You weren't really like a part of the initial movement. You know what I mean? Like you kind of dipped out. Like you kind of played it and you were like, man, not for me, kind of thing, right? I honestly can't remember.
I mean, kind of. I mean,
I don't know what you did. I can't.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just cut out.
Okay, it's on you. I said I can't remember if you were a part of like that beginning little push for Halo 4 or not.
It's hard to recall because I mean, obviously the first tournament was the MLG tournament, where no one had the Halo 4 game unless you had that version that a lot of the pro players had.
Majority.
That was actually kind of frustrating, but yeah, I mean, it was so weird going into a tournament like that where you've never really played the game. I mean, I played it because I got to play it at E3 before most people. I got to play like Haven, and it was fun, but I didn't know what to expect going into the tournament. I mean, it was just kind of like a toss up. It was all about, I mean, literally, it's about MLG, getting numbers because they're streaming a game that hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah.
So that was weird to me personally. And then after that, you know, what really pissed me off, and this is kind of why I was just like, there's no hope for Halo, at least in an MLG perspective, was because we did show up to that first tournament. There were a lot of Halo fans there, and that's what was really actually disturbing to me, is that they had this Halo 4 event where they said, you know, if you show up, you know, we'll see what will happen. You know, we sold out the passes. We had spectators sitting on the floor. There weren't even chairs for us. We didn't even have a main stage, and yet the next MLG they dropped the game. So it was like, to me personally, being at the age I'm at, I mean, it was easier to play Halo back when I was in school doing all that. But it was like, why am I going to waste time on a game that, you know, I can't even...
Yeah, the cell phone's wild.
That really frustrated me. And obviously, you know, the money wasn't... The sponsors weren't... No one was getting really sponsored by anyone anymore. And so it was just... I don't know. It was... I don't know.
Fair enough, man. So now...
Yeah.
Moving forward here, from that time when you said there's no real hope for Halo 4, what the hell am I going to do? Dabble with the real life. What prompted you or pushed you? Did anyone push you to get back into Halo 4? What was the catalyst? Because I know for me personally, like, there was no way. If no one pushed me to come back in, I was out. Done.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you would say
I don't think anyone... No, I don't think anyone, like, pushed me. I think it was more myself because, one, I wasn't really happy with how...
You're going to have to repeat everything you just said because it all went to fucking shit.
You can't hear me?
No, it just all went to shit. It did it the last time, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll let it slide kind of thing. But then this time I was like, I missed everything, so we'll try this up again.
Okay. This is terrible. By the way, you guys in the chat, I'm using my phone to Skype.
Oh, everyone knows. Everyone sees right through your bullshit.
I'm on the ghetto rig today.
Yo, dude, creeping on a come up, dog. Respect.
Do you want to? Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So what I was saying is I wasn't really happy with how I placed at the MLG Halo 4 event, and I think what drives me to compete is seeing positivity in the community, as in interest from, you know, whether it's sponsors or other, like Virgin, for example. When Virgin announced that they were going to hold Halo 4 tournaments, that brought positivity to me, and obviously, you know, look what just happened. They just put on a $500,000 tournament, which is sick. And that's kind of what I was hoping back when I wasn't really into Halo 4. And can you hear me right now? Because
yes, I can hear you, man. I was just chuckling.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it wasn't like anyone, and no one came to me and was like, "Neighbor, we need to get you back into Halo 4."
Oh, so people just didn't give a shit about you.
That was not happening. I'll tell you that. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, AGL, I actually had a really good experience at the first AGL I went to. We took
Knox?
5th. And,
that was Knox for you. That was your first event back in a while.
Yeah, and it was awesome because I got a team with Bestman, and Nick's one of my, you know, favorite teammates to play with. And
yeah, but you can only get second with him.
Yeah, that is true. And I think that's the B-Man curse. I need him to break that. That'd be great. He's
retired.
Nah.
What do you think about that? You think it's a bunch of bullshit?
I mean, no. I mean, I do think he... You know what? It would be really hard for me to see him not compete if there was a big tournament, 4v4 tournament that Virgin put on. I don't see him, you know, sitting that one out. There's no way I see him sitting that one out because I will convince him. I will call his phone 200 times to make him play.
He doesn't answer.
He doesn't answer.
Yeah,
but
I've never gotten a hold of Nick through a phone. Ever. He's a nightmare. I don't know, like...
difficult.
I want to know, and Brandon's in the chat, that's Brandon's like his good buddy. Like, Brandon, give me like a 1 or a yes or a no if you actually can get a hold of him through a phone. Because if you can't, then I'm just going to delete his number because I have no purpose for it.
Yeah, you know
Carrier
what's funny?
pigeon. Okay,
When
nice.
we were teaming and I was, because I mean when I'm getting ready for a tournament or practicing for a tournament, I do like to practice, and I remember I remember even DMing Brandon or just texting him saying, "Do you know how to get a hold of Nick? Do you have his mom's phone number?" it got to a point where I was getting pretty frustrated. Not gonna lie, but
Well, you can always call Dursky. He like lives right up the road. So.
yeah, Durst says they don't even they rarely even hang out, so, and which is
they have
crazy.
like polar opposite of interests.
Yeah, that is true. I guess that is
Like
true.
the only thing that kind of like connects them is like Halo.
Yeah, but that AGL event, that was fun because we went with this kind of sponsored team, and we placed fifth, which isn't bad, and we beat some good teams, and then the next event I fortunately got on status quo. I don't really know how that happened, to be honest. Because I mean, I haven't even talked to Flame about why they dropped Ace and Dursky, picked up Snake and Royal, and then dropped them. I haven't even gone there with him, but it was a cool experience. What?
You had no need to, man. Like, I don't know.
No, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you were gonna be like, "Hey, man, so by the way, thanks for picking me up." But
them to be like, "Yeah, you and Nick are 10 times better than these guys.
Yeah.
We really wanted you."
Yeah.
But no, it was a cool experience team with them because we actually made it to the winners bracket finals. I think we were the only team to beat Dursky's team at that tournament. What was it? Yeah, we beat them on Saturday.
Yeah, you beat them on Saturday. You beat Requiem on Saturday.
Semifinals, yeah.
Which I predicted. I mean, your team on paper was fucking filthy. Like, I remember watching you play, and I remember I was talking to you like damn near every fucking day. And I was like, if your team wins, you got to say Scott Lucier was my biggest inspiration. And we had it all planned out, but you guys looked awesome.
Yeah, we were terrible on Sunday. I'm not gonna lie.
What the fuck?
I mean, besides Flame played well on Sunday. We fucking sucked, and that kind of still haunts me. That's why I think I'm still playing. I don't know, but that really pissed me off because it's just like I hate being so close and then not closing. It's like what just happened at the Global Championships.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
so that's a perfect segue. So walk me first. I'm gonna walk through everything here. You weren't invited, correct? You didn't get an invite? Like, everything wasn't paid for you, right? You didn't qualify online, I guess, is the ticket I'm looking for?
Correct. I did not, no.
So you played Friday. Well, I can't hear you, man. You're frozen.
Again, you're
no, I'm not lagging. You're lagging, son. This is on you. Look at this. Fucking AT&T, most likely. Maybe Verizon. I don't know. All right. Wait.
There you are.
Ah! All right. Walk me through Friday and Saturday. Or, I guess, start off with, like, the experience, like, a little broad, like, oh, it was fucking awesome, and, like, throw a critique in there, and then tell me about how you fell short, because I didn't watch a goddamn drop of it.
Yeah, well, it's actually kind of, it was funny because I had a bunch of Halo pros come up a week and a half before to LAN. And for this LAN to work, I told Flamesword we'll need some setups from Red Bull. And that unfortunately fell through. So I had Illumnite, Enable, Flamesword, what's his, I don't even know his game type. Diesel, Tyler was over there. Shit, who else? Dursky.
Someone gift that for me. Please, someone gift that for me.
Dirks was there, Ogre 2, Pistola. So we had a bunch of Halo people at this LAN, which I actually, looking at now, it was so much fun. We got a LAN nonstop. It was sick. But when I mean LAN, I mean like Halo 1, like 2v2s, because we didn't have enough setups.
Yeah, no, there was no.
Which that kind of was a bummer because looking back on it, I actually probably wouldn't have done that LAN because I was practicing every single night free for alls with Rona and side and that's going to a tournament I want to practice as much as I can, especially a tournament with this with so much on the line. But going into that tournament, I was actually really confident because in Halo 2 I was one of the top free for all players at the end. I made it to the one-on-one championships in 07. I was consistently placing in the top 8 in free-for-all, so I knew I was good at free-for-all. And then in Halo 3, the only free-for-all tournament that they had was something similar to what the Halo 4 Globals, which was the the U.S. Championships,
Yeah,
which
which sucked.
which was the
That was a
craziest
train
amount
wreck.
of yeah,
Train
that was
wreck, bro.
yeah, and I took second at that, so I was pretty positive going into this event. I thought that I had the will to make it far, and then I also dubbed myself as Seabiscuit, which.
That's where
And
it
I'll
came
tell you why I did this. It's mainly because in 8-minute free for alls, 8-minute free for alls are much different than 15-minute free for alls. 8-minute free for alls, you have to be
more different than 10 and 12.
Yeah, you have to be on. You have to be. If you have a slow start, it's really difficult. So I called myself Seabiscuit because I would. In a lot of the free for alls when I was first starting, I would have really slow starts, but then I'd come at with a minute left, I'd place top 4, and so I was kind of like building into my mind, okay, to let's say that scenario happened in the tournament where I was down, I had that practice regimen where I was okay, I've done this before numerous times, so that's why I was calling myself Seabiscuit for people that were wondering. But anyways, going into that tournament, it was actually really sick because did you check out the venue? You saw the venue,
absolutely.
right? Yeah. So going to the venue, you're playing on these game stations, which if you don't know what that is this little briefcase with a TV, Xbox connected.
Exactly.
And it was actually pretty decent. I like the monitors, but the one thing that fucking sucked was they had the chairs that we were sitting on were these high chairs, like your feet weren't touching the ground, and also you couldn't lean back. So it was really awkward because how I sit is I kind of lean back in my chair and lean forward, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But
wait, what?
Yeah, so I'm like. I put my back against the chair, but then I lean forward. So my low back.
Yeah. I did the same. Okay.
And so it was frustrating because I had to sit like I was. It literally felt like I was at like ballerina school, like doing some like.
It's good. Oh, the wobble chair.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll get that because there's a story. I'll tell you why I hate those chairs. But anyway, so the first day of that of the free for all, I had to make it through 4 rounds because I didn't get the invite. So I had to make it through 4 rounds to get to the championship bracket. And fortunately, I played pretty well really every day. I took first, second every single game. So I was playing extremely well. And going into the final round to make it into the top 8, I actually don't even remember the exact people that were in my free-for-all. I know for sure Pistola was. I know Formal was. I think Cloud was.
You had the stacked one. That one was, fuck. I remember seeing that get tweeted out. I think Mickwin was in it, too.
Yeah,
Mickwin was definitely in it.
Yeah, so it was a really good free-for-all.
Yeah.
So.
And that was for round of 16?
Yeah, no, this is round of 16.
4 top 8. Okay.
So we're playing on the main stage at Ben Royal Hall, which, if you don't know what that is, I mean, most people in chat saw this stage, but it's this ridiculous opera house with these like booths on like sweet booths on the side. I mean, it was the craziest atmosphere. Walking into it, there's all these lights going on, and I was just thinking to myself, I wish MLG was like this because the stage that was on, it was fucking nuts. And I actually when I walked in, I got chills because I was just like, this is insane.
We're playing the same thing.
We're competing for this amount of money on a stage like this in my hometown. I was just like, it was kind of like a dream to me. But anyways, going into the final free-for-all, the free-for-all was so close. With a minute left, I was in first place. That's how close this free-for-all was. It got down to, I think, 30 seconds. I would jump from literally first to fifth to fourth to first. I mean, it was fucking nuts. And
I remember that.
So going back to the chairs, these chairs are swivel chairs, and this is why I give Ace so much props. Like he literally put on the best performance of Halo ever, because these chairs, if you got nervous at all, if your body shook at all, it felt like you were on an earthquake because the chairs would magnitude it. So like
they're bar stools, dude.
Yeah. So when
everyone knows that.
There was 10 seconds left. I was in my desk here, and I was like, all right, Seabiscuit, fucking pull it together. You need 1 kill. And the thing is for 4th place, I was actually tied. I had less deaths. So if I would have tied, I knew I would have advanced. So I spawned red side gold on Onyx, and there's a guy red 2 poking out. I'm looking at him right when I spawned, and he's weak because I was scrolling through my death screen. I miss a shot on the guy. So he gets away. Then there's a guy right below me, gold 1, getting shot. I fly out, I threw a nade off the tree, and it just like bounced back at me, and I couldn't get the kill. And I got that literally was the most demoralizing experience I've ever. I mean, I'm more mature now to where I'm not letting it affect me
Yeah.
as personally as it used to, but right after that, I walked out and I sat because I drove to the tournament. I sat and I parked my car in this little parking garage right across the street. I sat in there for 30 minutes talking to my mom because I was just like I couldn't drive home. I was like shaking that much. It was a tough experience, and I still kind of think about it from time to time because it was just I was that close, and it would have been cool to make the top 8 and have my friends come and kind of watch me compete in my hometown. So that was definitely rough, but. I didn't perform, and that's why I give it up to Ace because the shit he was pulling off was fucking amazing, and to do it on a stage like that, in a chair like that, it's that it blows my mind. It really does. So my hat's off to him. No, not literally.
Well, yeah,
still
not
on.
literally. You're like Ghost right now. Relax. Moving.
Keep it up.
All right, so now since the feels are out, I hate emotions. And
yeah.
But it was good. No. I love getting them, but it's still like I was sitting here in my head, and I'm not calling you a pussy, but I was sitting here in my head, and I was like, if this guy starts crying, like, what the fuck do I do? And I was sitting there, and I was like, if he tears up, I'm closing the fucking Skype call. I had it in my head. I was like, I'm closing the Skype call. I'm not dealing with it. Pull yourself together. So I'm glad for you. Good shit. Another dap up. All right, now. Global Championships is done. That was in August. We are now in the present. Okay? What does the future hold? Well, I guess not the future hold because that's like one of those like weird kind of perplexed questions. I'll rephrase it. I'll pretend that I worded the question the way I wanted to moving forward. All the teams, a lot of the good options of teams have already kind of been pieced together and put together. Who are you looking to team with?
So that's the thing is I'm not really the top players right now. They're kind of like it's like high school. They're like the clique. They're all in a Skype chat. They're all homies, which is cool. I mean, I love those guys, but I'm not a part of that group. Mm-hmm. So my options for teaming, I really don't have the options to join a top team. Which I mean, why should I think about like why should I really have that option? I mean, I haven't really proven myself that much in Halo 4. I mean, I believe that I have potential, but I haven't shown that I could join a first, second place team. But I really don't know what will happen. I mean, Enable went to team with Dynasty.
Yep. So
basically, SQ's all gone because B-Man retired. Enable went to Dynasty, and Flame. I don't know if he's going to compete or not. I mean, I'd love to team with Flame again, but then it goes to the question: who would Flame and I team with? Which is a big question.
I can steer your hand in a route where I think would be okay.
What do you think? What would you think?
I think one of the first people you have to acquire is going to be Nated. I know, like, the main thing about Nated, though, is, like, he's an interesting guy to get used to, especially, like, with teaming and such, but I hung out with him at PAX, and he seems to have changed a lot. So I think Nated's a fucking freak, okay? Like, if you talk to Formal said outside of his team, he would team with Nated and Rhinoob. Like, those would be his two, like, right off the break. So right away, you can give some stuff there. You have Goofy as a free agent. I think the people who are left out there that are good, and this is just a spitball because I don't even know who the fuck's really out there because I haven't really been paying too much attention because I don't pay attention. You know how it is. You don't pay attention until like 4 weeks out before the event, and then even still teams are gonna fucking break up. Yeah, it's just how it is. I would look at. I think Absolutely's good. I think he's pretty well oiled. I don't know how he's tested on main stage and everything like that, but I think he's okay. I think Nated and Goofy would be my first two. If I were you and you wanted to like merge with Flame, well, actually the first person I'd grab right now, right off the break, is Goofy. I would latch onto Goofy and then bring in Nated, assuming they have a decent relationship, and find a fourth. That's what I would do. And then you
Yeah,
do
no.
it in Tuger's there. You could bring fucking Tuger in because Tuger's not
So
there.
Tuger, this is a funny story. Tuger will not team with me. I don't think he will.
Because
Mainly
of
because
wait.
yeah, because he teamed with a pretty shitty neighbor.
Oh, I remember
As
that
in
land.
attitude wise, yeah, I was a little punk.
Yeah, you were an
Uh,
asshole, but it was good. You were the
yeah,
fucking best. That's what happens when you're the best. You're an asshole.
yeah, I was a pretty big dick. But I have actually talked to Tom once. But I don't see that happening. I personally, I didn't even know Goofy and Nated were free agents, to be honest. But then again, it's like, for me to really emerge, myself into practicing with a team, especially like right now, let's say, I need to have some confirmation that there will be a big 44 tournament because
I
something
get
like,
that. I get that.
I mean, I guess Indianapolis is somewhat big, 10K for first, but it's like, okay, is my team gonna really take first? And then it comes down
No, I
to,
think it's a
okay,
guaranteed 10K. Like, I could be wrong, and I'll wait for
is it
someone to
10K in
correct.
prizes or is it 10K for
I
first and then?
think, I think I'll wait for someone to confirm in the chat, but I believe it's 10K total in prizes for Indy. I think it's guaranteed. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not 10K for first. 10K for first would be fucking nice.
Well, see, that even makes it worse because it's like, okay, is my team gonna take first? Realistically, no. In my head, I mean, maybe there's a little
Yeah.
dream that pops up, but so then
Yeah, it's
I
10K
have to
total.
also I have to look at the expenses for what it would cost for me to fly across the country, for me to put myself into a hotel, all that shit that we have to deal with.
I get it.
So and to me right now it's not realistic. But if there was something like a Virgin 4v4 tournament with a big payout, I'd be on ready to go because that would make sense to me. But for
Yeah.
something like an Indianapolis, it's meh. It's a meh type
Yeah.
thing for me.
Yeah.
So
Essentially, how you're looking at things now is the simple fact that you have to weigh the pros and cons, just like everyone else is supposed to do, right?
correct.
That's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be. Is everyone's supposed to weigh your pros and cons, unless you're for the love of the game and you don't care about money and money's not an option. Well, us
Yeah.
people in the real world have to weigh that shit.
Yeah,
get
and it's different when it's like, okay, when I'm 16, 17 and I can
Yeah.
have my parents pay for my expenses, but now it's like, okay, when you have bills and you have a car payment and you have all this shit you have to do, it's like,
I get it.
I might just skip out on this one, especially with what I see with V5. Fucking stupid to me. I think it's dumb that Ricochet is in V5. The dumbest thing in the world, actually. That's my personal opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is perfect. This is great because that's what I'm talking about as soon as I get back from the break and I let you go and do your thing. But I'm enjoying talking to you.
Yeah. I enjoy
It's-
this guy.
It's been fun. What? So I have my own personal opinion, and the fucking chat has exploded. So
I'd love to hear your
congratulations.
opinion on it because
All right, you know what, dude? I'll just merge it in. Okay. So I'm gonna like throw it to like a little quick commercial so I can take a piss and everything. All right? We cool with that? Quick
Yep.
little 30 seconds.
Good.
All right, 30 seconds. I gotta go to the fucking store after this. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shit. I left that. God damn it. Alright, there we go. We're better. Alright, welcome back. Still joined by Mason because I'm having a jolly old time with him. Mason, before we went to the little break there, you were saying how you don't like what you're seeing with V5. What is it about Ricochet? And we're gonna have a chat here, but what don't you like about it?
All right, so what I don't like about Ricochet, I actually just watched a gameplay video of it this morning because I kind of wanted to educate myself in case we're going to talk about
I
this.
did the exact same thing, so don't worry.
It looks stupid. It honestly looks so dumb. It doesn't look like it should be in competitive play at all. To me personally, I don't see a spectator being like, "Oh wow, that was a sick, ball run into the goal." It just I don't know. It just is. I've never seen it in Halo before, and I feel like if they would have created a game type like neutral bomb, you could put neutral bomb on Skyline.
Every map.
Yeah, every map.
Honestly, every map.
Fucking sick. It'd be and that'd be Halo. But this is like, I don't even know what it is. Like it's like Griffball, but it's not. And you want to implement that into competitive play. It's like, I remember Ghost and I used to be on the Halo 3 testing committee, and we'd always just talk so much shit about Killer KC because he'd make stupid game types. And like Gemini TS or
don't get me started with Gemini TS, motherfucker.
And I would always joke with Eric, and I know Eric's a smart guy, but I just don't see. I would fucking kill myself if I was playing in a tournament for, let's say Virgin put on $1 million 4v4 tournament. I would kill myself if I had to play Ricochet.
Game 3.
I'd be so disappointed. I'd be like, what
swing
the fuck?
Game. Yeah. 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It comes over to the PA and it's me and Maven.
But then again, to be fair, I have not seen 8 pros play that game.
I have.
But I mean, from what I have seen, it really looks so dumb. It looks stupid.
I've seen it played with 8 people. And so here's the main thing, okay? So for those of you who have no idea what the fuck Ricochet is, because most of my viewers just kind of listen to what I say and I haven't spoke about it yet. In Ghost Army settings, if you throw it in, so it's basically like you have a ball and you throw it into the little square. Doesn't matter. I'm not here to explain it. If you throw it in, it's 20 points. If you physically walk it in, right, it's 50. Okay? The goal is to get to 300 is what I watched them play today. So it's 30-minute time limit. So obviously at the 15-minute mark, if it's tied up, sudden death, so on and so forth. Traditional Halo, everything there is fine. But the main problem I saw was when I was watching it, like, there's swings, okay? And I think Ghost thinks, like, the swings are good, okay? Because it's like, oh, team kills all 4. They score, like, fucking 7 times, or they throw it in twice, and they walk it in twice, right? And I get it. Like, that's, like, that's decent. But for me, with a game type like this, you got to capture the excitement, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do. You have to capture the excitement. You're basically kind of in a way, for me, I'm looking at it as kind of like Hardpoint from Call of Duty, right? Super fucking fast pace, and it's chaotic as shit, and you got to make do with what you got. Yeah. I think it should be a 5-second spawn, so the pressure's always there. Because with 10-second spawn, think about playing. The map has 2 snipers, right?
No, that makes sense. I agree with that.
Think about playing ambush on pit. You get killed for a full cycle, okay, and you lose the mid, and then they have 2 snipers. Yeah. All they have to do is, like, one of the spawn points that you're going to be watching is like back your first BR, like the enemy's first BR, right? To watch cuts, obviously, and the other one's going to be what, green. So when the ball spawns, it can either spawn like under sword, green, or empty, or invis, whatever the fuck people call it. Everyone is called. If it spawns green like 3 times in a row, and then hallway, Formal and Snipedown aren't going to miss that many shots. Like, they're going to have to try. And all they have to walk it in is 6 times, because it's 50 points. So they walk it in 6 times. The game's going to be over in fucking 1 minute 30, 2 minutes. Yeah. It's not going to be fun. But if you make it 5 seconds, like, then you're gonna get the fucking chaos. But even still, you know.
But I mean, the thing is, though, I mean, when I think about competitive Halo, I think about the roots of competitive Halo. I think about Flag. I think about Oddball. I think about Neutral Bomb. I think about King of the Hill. I don't think about a game that resembles a fun game like Griffball, because that's literally it's like competitive Griffball. To me,
exactly.
And I'm not hating on Griffball, because I will play Griffball if I come home.
I played it with you.
Yeah, if I come home from the bar, I'm on Griffball. I love playing Griffball. But from a competitive standpoint, I'm all about the roots. I'm all about not weird ass game types like that.
All right, so I know how I deal with it, but what do you say to people? Just to kind of throw it as I look through like V5 settings real quick. What do you say to people when you're like, oh, I like the roots, and they're like, oh, you got to learn to adapt. You know what I'm talking about? You know those fucking guys. What do you say to them? Because I need new material at this point.
Well, that's the thing, is I can't really say anything, because really whatever Ghost puts in, that's what you have to deal with, and that's what we dealt with Reach. I mean, in Reach they brought in like 5 maps that 4 of those were just stupid as hell. I think Nexus maybe was the only good one, but it's just something you have to.
Oh my god.
There's Android, which is terrible.
Android was awful.
Yeah. And so it's something, obviously, if it's in there, pro players will have to adapt, and hopefully we can make it as exciting as possible, and hopefully you can cast it, and hype it up. But I don't see you, being like, oh, and Pistola throws the ball from training into their flag. That's 20 points, and then the crowd goes crazy. It's like, yeah, I don't see it happening to me. So, I mean, hopefully, I know Ghost is dealing with, he's trying to appeal and bring something new to the table, but at the same time, and I can't judge. Again, I haven't played it, nor have I played with pros, but I personally, from what I've seen as a spectator that has loved Halo since, a diehard Halo fan, I'm not only a player, but a diehard fan, I'm just not really into it.
I look at it like, I understand where Ghost is coming from, because I get that we have to try to capture like the casuals in some way, shape, or form. But the problem is the viewers that we see, and I'll never forget this because it was Mr. D's, Pistola's dad, was talking to me, and he said, Scott, I'm not going to try to do it. I thought for a second I was going to try to do like the fucking accent, but I gave up on it. He was like, Scott, as well as you and Maven like explain things to me, I still, for the life of me, don't fucking get extraction. Like, it's not like traditional Halo. Like, I haven't figured it out. He was like Oddball, I get, because like you hold on to the ball, you accumulate time. He's like, King of the Hill, I get, you control the hill. He's like, extraction, like sometimes for me, like the casual viewer, like it's weird, and a lot of other parents that I'm talking to, when that game type comes on, they have a hard time with it. So now that's extraction, and for us, gamers, around our demographic, we're like, okay, we're fine with this. This is okay. We understand how this works.
Yeah.
But now for the casual person, now imagine trying to explain Ricochet to them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That'll be tough. It'll be tough. I mean, I can guarantee, my parents have been watching every tournament that I've competed in, like on the streams and stuff. They would not have a clue what they'd be watching. And then, but it could be interesting though. Who knows? Maybe there'll be like plays where you set up like 3 like blockers, like football, and then there's the ball guy, and then I don't know. Maybe there's some cool shit that can come from it.
I think it can, but I think like the thing I'm worried about, it's just like I get Ghost, and I think as long as it's 5 seconds, like it's going to be entertaining as shit. Because when it's 5-second respawn and you're coming off like every 5 seconds, like we've never had an objective game type in Halo that was 5-second respawn ever. Think about the kills that we're going to have. Games are going to end with absurd amount of kills, which in exchange is exciting for people to watch, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be awesome. What I'm afraid of is like how to capture the casuals with it. I don't know. It's weird how I can.
Well, and I don't even know how that playlist is even. Is that a playlist within itself? Is there a Ricochet playlist?
I believe so. I'll bring up Hold on. I think I don't even know where to go anymore. I'm so washed up. Well, I guess someone in the chat will post like, what's the population numbers like? Anyone in the chat as I delay, since I forget the site that I usually go to. And now we wait. It's like 2.5K to 4. Okay, that's good compared to our team throwdown of like 500 at peak hours. So I get it. I guess it's a way to kind of bring them in here. But like that's the one thing like I was going to talk on today is you know this. And I know this, but we may not like to admit it, but at some point, we, as a competitive community, has to actually end up getting to the point where we're, like, bridging with the casuals a bit. You know what I mean? Like, we can't have a game that's completely different anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. But, I mean, if you think about it, you know, in Halo 2, okay, that game, literally right off the box, you can play with casuals, and it can be competitive. What I see with what they're bringing in with Ricochet, this is kind of like my gripe with Halo Reach as well, is they took out a game type. They took out neutral bomb on Zealot, and I honestly thought that was one of the best game types
that was a good one.
That was in Halo Reach. And what kind of separates us from the Call of Duty and like just say another competitive game is we're not able to see the same game types, the same maps. And what we're not seeing is the evolutions of the strategies, the meta game, or whatever you want to call it. Which, if you think about Lockout Ball, there were so many different times, like, you know, Final Boss, or maybe it was you guys, you know, the Green Room strat.
No, that was
you know, it wasn't just like holding BR anymore. And that was because the game type was on there for, you know, an extended period of time. And it yeah, exactly. So new stuff came out, which made it interesting because the fans that were watching the game, they had the concept of what they're watching, and then they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you could, you know, that strategy was even possible, and that thing is sick. Yeah. I want to try that out." We don't really get that by always like implementing new maps, new game types, and that's kind of what's frustrating as well.
Yeah, I think like, look, man, like we're only gonna have what 343 puts out for us, okay? And there comes a point in time, and I think we're finally at that point, and it's kind of like the last straw, where what they put out, we can't deter from it that much. We can't. Like, right now, if we really wanted to, and, like, we have no need to, right? Because we're kind of all just... We're waiting to see, like, what happens with Virgin Gaming and everything. If we wanted to right now, we could do loadouts. We could. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not stopping us. The BR dominates everything else at this point. Like, there's nothing stopping it. We could do it. But at the beginning, we couldn't. Like, we were afraid of that. Like, the next one, like, it gets to the point where you have to say, you know what, dude? We have to, like, I used to think, okay, so this is what I used to think, and you'll appreciate this, too. Mm-hmm. I used to think the in-house attendance, I guess, like, of teams and everything like that, compared to online viewership was like 65-35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, if your event sells out and you have decent viewers, it's you still have success. Well, it's not the case. It's like 90-10.
Yeah.
All online viewers. That's why Call of Duty is kicking ass, because they get the viewers too.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta kind of make those strides to kind of work with them.
Yeah. No,
and I have no idea how to do it. And if it's Ricochet, if Ricochet's the end-all be-all, I'm willing to fucking try it.
Well, and that's the thing, is even if it is, and I want to reiterate, I have not played that game type. I have not seen the top teams play. So I'm being very judgmental, but it's more so the fact that I just heard that it was in V5, and I'm like, where was the extensive testing? Where, like, was it really? I just felt like it was just thrown in.
Well, if I can read from it, basically, Ghost Army makes a big post on Team Beyond the Night. So, thus we are left with a total of 7 potential combinations. These slots can be filled by past, current, and new combos. We already have decided on 2, so they need 2 Team Slayers, 1 Capture the Flag, 1 Extraction, and then, so that's what they have. So what they already have is 2 Team Slayers, 1 Capture the Flag, and 1 Extraction. So we will need to fill in 3 Team Slayers, 1 capture the flag, and 2 ricochets. So basically what Ghost is saying is instead of, like, how do I word it? Instead of having, like, the same 2, thank God that unlocked on me and I didn't fucking have a panic attack. Instead of having just 2 extractions and rotating between that every single series, extractions and ricochets are going to be interchangeable. But I think that's fucking stupid. Because I think if you're going to do that, just give the 4 slot to ricochet, okay? Because extraction has to be there. And almost, like, I would, if he wants to do it like that, right? We've known for a long time that Team Slayers normally are won by, like, I guess there's a higher percentage of a chance that the lesser skilled team's going to win the Team Slayer.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? We've known that for a very, very, very long time. Like, if a team drops a Team Slayer, it's like, you know what I mean? But if, like, someone lost, like, Capture the Flag Sanctuary or, like, CTF on the pit, it was like, what the hell were they doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's more control and objective.
Yeah.
If it's going to be that, I would rather cut down the fucking Team Slayer and just put a Ricochet in there. So it's like CTF, Ricochet, Extraction, CTF, Team Slayer Game 5. Like, I would rather it be like that than rotate Ricochet with Extraction, because I don't think it's as consistent as Extraction's going to be. Like, that's the thing. Like, you want to limit the amount of randomness. You know this. You dealt with the Halo 3 switching of the game types all the time. You want to reduce the randomness.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And that's the thing. Is I don't know what to expect from Ricochet besides of what, I just saw this morning through a video. But, I mean, I have a question. Is there not a King of the Hill game type? Is there a King of the Hill game type?
There is, but what the problem is it's broken. So what happens is so if you look at the screen sense, how can I do this? All right, so look, here's my phone, okay? Let's say my screen, like the black part of my screen is the hill, okay? If we both are standing on the outside of it, and I step in, so I step in right here.
Yeah.
By the time you have a full second to get in, so like let's say I jump in at 1 second. You have until it goes to 2 seconds to jump in, and if you get in there at that time, then we get stacked time. So we get 2 seconds for every second.
Oh, okay.
And so then if our teammate wants to do the same thing, from 2 to 3, he has to jump in, and then it's tripled. And if our 4th teammate wants to jump in, all he has to do is hit it from 3 to 4, and then it's quadrupled. So it's broken. And they're kind of like, well, do we want to fix that or not? Because, all the resources are kind of in Halo 5.
Yeah.
So there is no... King of the Hill would make everything better.
I was going to say, King of the Hill on Pit, bring that game type back, That would be... That'd be awesome.
Sick.
But, that's why I think there should be more extensive testing before Eric announces what the new version, what the new settings will be. Because, who knows, maybe, because like you just said, because I haven't played King of the Hill at all, but what you just told me, there can be some interesting games by, let's say a team does stack 3 guys in the hill and they get that time, but since they're out of position, since they have 3 guys in the hill, it'll be easier for a team to break that setup, and so then you have to decide, whether, okay, we're going to have 1 guy in the hill and have a good setup, or are we going to put 2 or 3 guys in and try and triple it,
I get it. I never really looked at it that way. I kind of always looked at it more like, wow, this is broken. And I think that's kind of like how everyone looked at it. But that's a very, very interesting point. I think they're more afraid of, like, it's 210 to 218.
Yeah, no, that would definitely suck. Just seeing, that'd be a bummer. But, then again, what I'm going to do right after this, Chaz, I'm going to get on and play some Ricochet.
Well, you're going to have some interesting game types to test. So there's a new map called the Ark. For those of you out there, I'm assuming you can download all of these from Ghost Army. The map called the Ark, you start off and, well, you're looking at the fucking Ark. To the right, Sniper, I think there's rockets on the map. I didn't really pay too much attention to Ark. Extraction's played on it, and so is Team Slayer. I think, hold on, the game types that Ghost has locked in, no questions asked, are Abandoned Team Slayer, Haven Team Slayer, Haven Extraction, and Skyline CTF.
And I'm pretty sure Drift Flag is in there still. I don't think they're taking that one out.
I don't even see it in testing unless he completely left it out. But it looks like it's not in as far as the link goes. And if you guys in the chat want to see it, it's posted, and I'll throw it in the YouTube description. As far as that goes, there is no adrift capture the flag anywhere.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So I guess he just kind of said, fuck it.
Okay.
I personally, looking at it, I want Onyx Team Slayer and Onyx Capture the Flag right away. I have no idea how Pit CTF is. I can only assume that it's decent.
Yeah.
And then Pit Team Slayer is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I don't understand, like, why we need to test maps like Orion, which is basically like it's like a shitty version of Construct.
I love the names that people are coming up with maps. They're just
that's my nephew's
hilarious.
name too, and of course the fucking map sucks. So I was like, if this name was fucking awesome, like I would be like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, that's funny. No, but to me, I honestly put Ricochet in. I probably won't be going to Indianapolis, so I'll be sitting at home and I'll be able to enjoy, and maybe I will enjoy it, but I'll get to see what it's like from a spectator's point of view. So
I guess. Well, so Mason, I think we've been talking for a little over an hour. Well, no, a lot over an hour here.
Yeah.
I guess. One, best of luck. But so I guess as we wrap up here, shout outs and all that cliche bullshit. I have your Twitter on here, so you don't have to plug that. But anything else you want to throw?
Cool. Yeah, I saw that Quinn's in the chat, and the Quinn who works for 343. I just want to let you guys know that he's good at Halo 1. You might not know that, but he's a Halo 1 old school guy. He taught me some tricks that I was able to utilize against the Halo pros that came out when we land. But shout out to Quinn and shout out to God. Thanks for letting me be here. Great stuff, and thank you, Scott, for having me. It's been fun.
Stab you square in the chest. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy.